Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to another episode of Persuading for Profits. I'm your host, Brent Hoodenpyle. We are the persuasion and selling podcast that gives you the tools and the skills you need to go out and crush your career in sales, no matter what industry you're in. We are kind of partial to the radio industry, to account executives who go out and sell airtime. We are sponsored by Radio Update, a fantastic resource for all things radio industry on the internet. Go to radioupdate.com. We do appreciate them hosting us on their site, sponsoring us. You can also find us at persuadingforprofits.com as well. I have a great episode recorded with Kim Walsh Phillips, a great marketer and speaker and author and coach. She's written books with Dan Kennedy and Kevin O'Leary, and coached Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank, and Justin Guarini, her business partner from American Idol. That will be coming up next week. So it's recorded but not edited, so look for that when it'll be coming up very soon. But today we're up against Memorial Day, so I thought I'd do a little special thing here. We'll make a really quick podcast today. I'll give you some beach reading recommendations. If you're going out to the beach to do you got some time to kill, you want to take a sales book with you, you're in the car, you'll be traveling a lot this summer, get some of these on Audible. Get some of these download the audio versions of these. These are great books. They're going to help you. They're fun, they're entertaining, and they will help you with your sales career. I'm going to give you a quick rundown here of my favorite sales books, and I hope you enjoy these too. And I'm going to recommend some things that you probably haven't heard. There's no Grant Cardone on here. There's no Jeremy Minor on here. There's no whoever the really popular salespeople are today. A lot of these are old school stuff that maybe you haven't heard of before. And the first one is called How I Raised Myself from Failure to Success in Selling. What a great title. It's by Frank Bettger. I believe he used to be a baseball player, got into selling insurance, and he did this, the 30s, 40s maybe, 50s of the 1900s, 20th century, and a really great book. Really, it's a lot of old school techniques in here. I got a lot of old school advice. His advice about joining the 6 a.m. club is great. It's all about getting up early, getting a great start to your day, and really starting the day with intention and getting settled and going out to attack the day. But doing the things that really separate you from the crowd, which even today, just getting up early at a decent time and getting an early start can put you head and shoulders above everyone else. It's a great book, though. Read it, and I think you'll really enjoy it. The next book, actually, I don't really know if it's a book. I recommend several books by this guy. His name is Tom Schreider, and Tom is known as Big Al, which is weird because he's like, I think maybe 5'4", 5'5". Not a very tall guy, but a great trainer. Mainly, he's been working in the direct selling and network marketing arena, which is a tough gig because you're training non-salespeople to do selling. You're training everyday people to go out and sell their network marketing opportunity or their product. And Schreider has some really good work on the 4 color personalities. You check out his books on those. And he also has a really good book on closing. And I think one of my favorite closes is in there where you kind of tell people give people your pitch. At the end, you kind of say, well, hey, do you have any questions? And they'll ask questions. And you answer the question. Actually, I already messed it up. You don't say, do you have any questions? You say, what would you like to know next? And then they give you the answer. And you say, they ask the question, you give them the answer. And then you say, okay, well, what would you like to know next? And they ask you, and you give them that answer. And when they finally run out of questions, all you ask is, well, what would you like to do next? It's such a powerful close because you're always giving them the power. You're always keeping them in control, yet you're still leading and guiding the conversation and managing to ask sales questions, or at least leading it in a sales direction, which is really good. Check out his stuff online, Tom Schreider. A lot of his books are on Amazon. I hope to have him or his son Keith on the show at some point. I think that'd be really awesome. The next book I'm going to recommend is another old school book. It's by Joe Girard. It's called How to Sell Anything to Anybody. Joe was he's in the Guinness Book of World Records as the world's greatest salesman. he sold over 13,000 cars during his career back in the 60s and 70s, nearly 6 cars a day. And he did it just by really ignoring, by being creative, by hustling, by staying in touch with his prospects and his customers. I think he sent everybody who ever bought a car from him, he sent them a card in the mail every month of the year. St. Patrick's Day, Easter, or Memorial Day, 4th of July, whatever. He found a reason to stay in touch constantly. He built a huge network of people, so they were always ready to buy from him when the time came for them to do that. A great book. I highly recommend it. Even just for the fact that there's always been people in any selling industry sitting around saying, oh, things are slow, all this is happening, all this is bad, making excuses why they're not selling. He ignored all that and went out and crushed it all the time. Read that book. The next book is Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. I listened to this one night. I had a long drive through Texas, across Texas, up and back. And I put this on, I think it's like a 5-hour trip. And I listened to, I think, the whole thing in one sitting, in one trip. And it's a great book. Chris Voss, of course, is a former FBI hostage negotiator. This book is called Never Split the Difference. He's, of course, the founder of the Black Swan Group. There's a lot of information from him and by him and interviews and podcasts on the internet. Highly recommend you track down his stuff. He is great. In this book, I think as soon as I finished listening to this book, I hit play and listen to it all over again. It's really a great book. I cannot recommend this one enough. The next book is by David Sandler. Sandler created the Sandler method of selling. He did not like the old school method of being pushy, of cajoling prospects, of bothering them. This was back in the 50s and 60s and 70s. And so he developed his own style of selling that focuses on asking the right questions, qualifying leads, and creating win-win situations. The Sandler Group still carries on his method today. They individually have tons of great books out there on the internet, on Amazon. I would check them out. If you have Kindle Unlimited, a lot of them are free and they're very, very good. About phone selling, about qualifying prospects, about every little phase of the selling process. Really great stuff. The book I recommend here is called You Can't Teach a Kid How to Ride a Bike at a Seminar. It is a great book on selling. The next book I would like to recommend to you is a book by a guy that we had on this program, Entrepreneurs Sales Secrets Revealed by Don Lazare. Don was a great sales trainer, is a great sales trainer. He's had a impressive track record of turning around sales organizations. And this book is written because he noticed in all these companies he went into, the CEO was really good at whatever he was doing. Maybe he invented some sort of new piece of tech, or he invented some sort of process for doing something. And he was really good at that. But when it came to scaling up, when it came to taking that business out and getting salespeople in, training a sales staff, those guys aren't really experienced at that. So they need salespeople to come in and help them. This book is written for the entrepreneur. It's written for sales managers. It's written for salespeople. It is a fantastic book. And I go back and check out the episode with Don Lazare. It's a really good episode. I think about that one a lot. And he had some really good information on there. The next book I'm going to recommend is The Seller's Journey by Richard Harris. Richard was also on this program. It's he's an award-winning sales trainer, also very, very good. The Seller's Journey, your guidebook to closing more deals with NEAT selling. NEAT is an acronym which stands for Needs, Economics, Access, and Timeline. That is a great episode, especially if you're doing business-to-business selling, because he has a technique in there, which he talked about on the podcast episode, which is finding who the deal killer is going to be. When you're talking to the prospect, and maybe there's a lot of people in the organization making decisions, his question that kind of ferrets out the deal killer in the group is, who do you think the skeptic's going to be here? And it's such a wonderful question that completely transforms the sales dynamic and gets your prospect now kind of working with you to close the deal. It's very clever. It's very effective. And he gives a lot of great information in that episode this is a great book. Get this book. And on his website, he also has at the Harris Group, a sales AI agent. So you can ask him questions, and it's like you're talking to Richard. It's really pretty cool. And finally, we just had Kim Walsh Phillips on here. I think that she is a person that really pulled Dan Kennedy into the 21st century. Probably her and Russell Brunson, because social media was on the scene, and Kennedy was like, well, how can you, likes don't really mean anything, and they don't really. At the end of the day, you can't buy anything with likes at the grocery store. But Kim showed how to do social media marketing in a direct response way. And so she co-wrote a book with him, No BS Direct Marketing, Direct Response Social Media Marketing. Actually, it was called No BS Direct Response Social Media Marketing, a great book. Highly recommend that. And I also recommend Dan Kennedy's No BS Direct Marketing book. We do a lot of stuff on sales. It's this blend on radio. It's this blend between branding and direct selling. But direct marketing is kind of what I think it really, I'm a direct marketing fan. I think it's great to really be able to construct an offer and to organize things in a way. Direct marketing really is a kind of a form of marketing, but it's also a structure to marketing too. Kim and Justin Guarini have a business where they really teach people how to craft a great speech. And they've broken down what an effective speech is. You can give this speech in front of the Rotary Club. You can give this speech in front of the Chamber of Commerce. You can give this speech in front of trade organizations. And whatever, it helps you craft a speech that really draws people in and ends with a close and an offer. And the offer results in just kind of a natural progression of, yes, I want to work with you. Yes, it was a great speech. You resonated with me. Instead of just standing up there making a great speech, it ends with, hey, if you'd like to work with me, let's do this. And it seems like the next logical step. That's why I think it's so important to really learn direct marketing techniques, because you can incorporate them in everything, right? In the way you get clients, and the way your clients get clients when they're advertising their products and services. And actually, they talk about that on the podcast, which you'll hear next week if you're listening to this Memorial Day week of 2025. If you're not, just go look it up and you can find it. It's her and Justin Guarini. And actually, Justin Guarini is the last book I'd recommend. It's called Center Stage Confidence. It's about how everyday people can get the confidence of movie stars and rock stars and performers. And it's on pre-order right now. It'll be out in August of this year. Go ahead and line up for that. I think you're going to enjoy it. But all of these books are great. The No BS Direct Marketing book from Dan Kennedy, he has a special offer on that right now. I think for like $10, you get the book and like $1,000 worth more of other great stuff, of seminars that they recorded, of people who are using the techniques, so you can actually see how they're used in different industries. I'll put a link to that on my website. I'll put a link to all this as well, so you can go there and download the list and get these books and have a great summer. So once again, in no particular order, Entrepreneur Sales Secrets Revealed by Don Lazzari, The Seller's Journey, Your Guidebook to Closing More Deals with Neat Selling by Richard Harris, How to Sell Anything to Anybody by Joe Girard, Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss, You Can't Teach a Kid to Ride a Bike at a Seminar by David Sandler, How I Raised Myself from Failure to Success in Selling by Frank Bettger, Anything by Tom Schreider, Big Al. I would also mention one last thing here, the No BS Direct Marketing books by Dan Kennedy and Kim Walsh Phillips, Center Stage Confidence by Justin Guarini. And I also recommend one more, How to Master the Art of Selling by Tom Hopkins. We had Joe Pisacchio on the podcast. He held up his weathered, cover torn off, dog-eared, coffee-stained edition of How to Master the Art of Selling that he had back from the 80s or 90s when he really launched his sales career. And I'm telling you, there's a lot of wisdom in these books. Get them, absorb them, learn from them, keep on coming back to the podcast. We're going to have great people on here to help you out as well. And mainly, if you're listening to this around May 22nd, it's before Memorial Day. I hope you have a great Memorial Day weekend. And come back next week. We'll have another great episode for you. Thank you for joining us today on Persuading for Profits. I'm your host, Brent Hoodenpyle, and thank you, RadioUpdate.com, too, for hosting us as well. Bye-bye.